So, let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten so frustrated with your slow internet that you went out, bought a super powerful new Wi-Fi router, and for a little while, things were great, but then a few months later, you're right back to that buffering nightmare? Well, what if I told you that your effort to fix your Wi-Fi was actually making things worse for everyone, including you? It's a crazy thought, but let's get into it.
All right, just a quick heads up. This explainer is part 2 in a 10-part series. We're pulling all this information directly from a really detailed technical guide put together by the pros over at RFI Detectives.
And here's the source we're working from. It's a super comprehensive guide, especially for folks living in apartments, townhomes, or any kind of close quarters. It really breaks down the science behind why our wireless world can be so frustrating.
Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about our crowded airways. Then, we'll look at it through the lens of a classic idea called the tragedy of the commons. From there, we'll see how that creates a Wi-Fi arms race. We'll dig into why this is a much bigger deal than just a slow Netflix stream. And finally, we'll talk about the only solution that actually works.
Right. First up, the invisible problem. Just picture it. In your apartment building or your neighborhood, all our wireless networks are basically in a crowded room, all trying to shout over each other at the same time. They're all fighting for the exact same limited resource, the airwaves. It is an unbelievably crowded space.
And when all that shouting happens without any kind of coordination, the result is just chaos. We're not just talking about your video buffering. As the guide points out, your smart speakers and light bulbs suddenly drop off the network, your Bluetooth headphones get all choppy, and, this is the really scary part, your Wi-Fi security cameras can just stop working. It's a total system failure.
You know, this whole mess, it's not a new problem at all. It just has a fancy new technical name. In fact, there's a classic economic theory from way back in the 1800s that perfectly explains why our 21st century Wi-Fi is in such a state.
And that theory is the tragedy of the commons. The idea is actually pretty simple. When you have a shared resource and everyone acts in their own short-term self-interest, well, they end up destroying that resource for everybody. And that means they end up hurting themselves too.
So in our case, what's this shared resource? It's the public airwaves themselves. The radio frequencies your Wi-Fi uses aren't owned by you or me or anyone. It's a commons that we all have to share, whether we like it or not.
So how does this old theory play out in our neighborhoods today? Well, it creates this predictable, escalating, and frankly destructive cycle that a lot of us are probably trapped in without even realizing it.
And this is that downward spiral. Okay, picture this. It starts when your Wi-Fi gets slow. So you go out and buy a better, more powerful router. That new router just screams its signal out, blasting more RF energy into the air. All you're doing is shouting louder. This raises what's called the noise floor, basically the background chatter, for all your neighbors. Now their Wi-Fi is worse, so what do you think they do? They go buy their own powerful router, and the cycle just keeps going. Pretty soon, everyone is shouting and nobody can hear a thing.
But this is where it gets really serious. This isn't just about the inconvenience of slow downloads. The report from RFI Detectives makes it crystal clear. This constant interference creates real, tangible risks for the systems we count on to keep us safe.
So why are our security devices so vulnerable to this mess? Well, a few big reasons. For one, most of them, like your cameras, your smart locks, they use the 2.4 gigahertz band. It's great for range, but it's also the most crowded frequency out there. But most importantly, security alerts are time critical. A movie can buffer and catch up, but an alert that says motion detected at the front door that fails to get through, it's gone forever. You can't get that information later.
I'm just going to pause and let this quote from the report sink in for a second. When your security camera goes offline because of interference, it's not a glitch. It's a security breach waiting to happen. It's an open door for failure, right when you need that system to work the most.
So at the end of the day, we have to completely reframe this problem. This is not about getting faster downloads. It's about building a stable, reliable, wireless environment that actually makes everyone's home safer. Reliable Wi-Fi means reliable security. Period.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, we understand the cause, and we've seen just how high the stakes are. Now for the good news. Let's talk about the only strategy that can actually fix this mess for good.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the tragedy. Everyone for themselves, a constant arms race, performance tanks, security systems fail, and nobody wins. On the other side, you have the solution. Community coordination, smart use of the airwaves, where everyone's performance improves and our security systems become reliable. It's a classic win-win. And this right here, this is the absolute key to everything. The physics, the engineering behind Wi-Fi, it's all sorted out. We know how to fix this. The real challenge isn't a technical one, it's a social one. It's about getting people, getting neighbors to actually work together.
And look, this is so important to understand. This isn't about asking anyone to make a sacrifice for the greater good. It's the total opposite. When you coordinate with your neighbors, say by agreeing to use different channels or just turning down your router's power a bit, you directly cut down on the interference you have to deal with. Your own Wi-Fi gets better because you cooperated. It's pure, simple, mutual benefit.
So as we wrap up part 2, I'm going to leave you with this question. Just think about your own building, your own neighborhood. Are you dealing with these issues? Because if you are, you're probably caught in the middle of a Wi-Fi arms race. And the only way out is to declare a truce where everybody comes out a winner. We'll get into the actual how-to of all this in the next part of our series. I really hope you'll join me for that.